Welcome to Statistics. This is Chapter 10, dealing with linear correlation. The problem I will be going over reads, the heights in inches of a trailblazer and their average points per game are listed in Table 1. Make a scatter plot and use 0.05 level of significance to decide if there is a linear correlation between a trailblazer's height and their average points per game. I'm going to solve this problem using the traditional method, but first I will draw a scatter plot of the given data. The x-axis will be height and the y-axis will be the average points per game. Here are the plots, and now we can state our hypotheses. The null hypothesis is that rho equals 0, and the alternative hypothesis is that rho does not equal 0. So now that we have our scatter plot and our hypotheses, we can now start the traditional method. So the problem is using a 0.05 level of significance, and this is a two-tailed test, so each area will be 0.025. Now we need to find the critical values, so we're going to go into Stats List Editor, hit F5, inverse T, and plug in 0.025 for the area, and 11 for the degrees of freedom because degrees of freedom is n-2 and n is 13. The calculator gives us negative 1.796 and 1.796. Now we have the graph labeled with our critical values, and we need to find our test value, and to do that we use the equation r times the square root of n-2 divided by 1 minus r squared. In order to get r, you're going to have to put in the data from Table 1 into List 1 and List 2 of your Stats List Editor, and then you're going to go to F4 and you're going to hit Regressions, and you want to get linreg a plus bx, and then for x list you're going to put in list 1 and y list you're going to put in list 2. You're going to hit enter, and r and r squared are given towards the bottom. My calculator says that r is negative 0.00039 and r squared is 0.0000015, and now we can plug in what we know into the equation for our test value. N would be 13 minus 2 divided by 1 minus. And the test value ends up being negative 0.0013, and now we can label that on our graph, which would be about here. And since the test value did not fall in the shaded region, we will not reject. Since we did not reject, our statement is we can claim that there is no correlation between the height of a trailblazer and his average points per game. But wait, there's more. If a new member joins the team and he is 6'2", what would be his expected average points per game? Since there was no correlation between the height of the players and their average points per game, we just use the average of the x's, and the x's were the average points per game. So with that, x bar equals 7.6. So his average points would be 7.6, and to find that you would just use var stats in your calculator. Thanks for watching!